Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Joe Asher joins us, a Nevada legend. He's the owner of Boomer's Sportsbook. Here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain. And for over 90 years, the Nevada Trucking Association has been the voice for the men and women in the trucking industry. From Carson City to Washington, D.C., we advocate for policies to protect our trucking companies and keep commerce flowing. Because Nevada's and America's prosperity is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome to the program for the first time Joe Asher. He is the owner of Boomer's Sportsbook, which is named after one of your dogs.
It is. I'm happy to be here. I've been a fan of your show and watched it many, many times, so I'm really grateful to be here. Boomer was a rescue dog who passed in Thanksgiving Day of 2024. He was 17. He had a heck of a run. So when I was looking to get back into the sports betting business, I thought we'd name the business after him. It's also a good sports name, you know, with Boomer Esiason and Chris Berman and Boomer Sooners, but it's named after Boomer the dog.
Well, that is a great tribute. Just to give a little history, because a lot of people that watch this show across the state may be familiar with the company's names, but not all that you have done. You founded Brandywine Sports, which you sold to William Hill. That was publicly known as Lucky's. You became CEO before it was acquired by Caesars Sports. And then you left after Caesars took everything in-house, right? After you were the CEO, and in quotes, retired. But then you started the new venture. Why independent sports books rather than being with the big players?
Well, so if I can just give it a step back. During my tenure at William Hill came to the U.S. in 2012. At that time, it was a well-known British company, bought 3 small businesses, Calneva, the old Leroy's business, which was American Wagering, and Brandywine Bookmaking, which was my company, also named after a rescue dog. Lucky's was the trading name. I was the CEO of that business from start to finish, from the day the transaction closed in 2012 until Caesars bought the business in 2021. And I was never going to retire, but it was a good opportunity to step back and step away. And then I ultimately decided to get back into the business. During my tenure, William Hill was independent. And what I mean by that is it wasn't owned or controlled by a casino. But obviously that changed when Caesars, one of the biggest casino companies in the world, bought it. And it was no longer independent. It still offers a product under the William Hill brand, under the Caesars brand, but a big part of the business here in Nevada is the relationship with other casinos, because you operate inside a casino. So we would think of that as the B2B relationship, as distinct from the B2C relationship with the end user. And so there was now an inherent conflict for many of the casino partners of William Hill, in that they had a sports book that's being run by a competitor in their building. And so I thought there was an opportunity for an independent operator in the market. So that's sort of the idea at the B2B level, but at the B2C level, what we're really focusing on for consumers is offering a great product at I think a very, very good price, a lower price offering than what William Hill, for instance, is offering and what others are offering, but really focused on good customer service, focusing 100% on Nevada. We don't have operations anywhere else. We're not going to have operations anywhere else. Every single employee lives in the state of Nevada. And so we're trying to build out a statewide network of locations where people can come in, bet, and then importantly, also sign up for a mobile betting account.
Right.
Because in Nevada, in order to get a mobile account, you must physically go into a casino to sign up. So the idea is, let's build up a statewide network. Maybe it's 24, 30 locations, where people can go in, they can bet right then, but they can also sign up for a mobile account, and then they can bet wherever they are in the state of Nevada whenever they want.
Okay, so I just downloaded your app. It took about 1 second. It's a very good app. Just to name off a couple of places that you've already opened up, Ellis Island in Las Vegas, the Bonanza in Reno, one of my favorite casinos, the Commercial in Elko, Cali Casino Verde in Henderson, and as you say, you're looking to open up a couple of dozen satellite locations. It kind of threw me a bit when you opened up initially in Elko, but then in doing some reading, there was a great article on you on CDC Gaming Reports a couple of years ago, and it talked about your connection to Elko, and you still go there every year to call the horse racing.
I love Elko. I was introduced to it by a gentleman named Larry Wolf, who was a well-known casino executive. And at the time, Larry had a couple of casinos out in Elko, so he took me out there. And I'm just a big Elko fan. I enjoy being out there very much. I go to the horse races over Labor Day weekend every year with my son. It's our big, father-son trip. He loves it. And they let me announce a horse race a day when I'm there. There's another gentleman who's the full-time announcer, and he graciously lets me call a race whenever I'm there. One day, if he retires, I think I'm going to put in for the job and try to take over. But it's just a great place to go. And in fact, after we tape this show, I'm driving out for Cowboy Poetry, which is such a big event in Elko. I've actually never been to Cowboy Poetry, although by the time folks are viewing this, I will have been there. But we opened up in Elko, and the reason is in order to build out a network of what are called satellite sports books, you have to have your sort of core non-restricted gaming licensed location. And we decided to do that in Elko, and so we acquired the rights to operate gaming on the site of the former Commercial Casino in downtown Elko. Folks who have been to Elko would, of course, know the Commercial. But we built a separate standalone sports book right there, akin to what you might see, for instance, if you went over to London and saw the bookmaking shops over there. And then we opened that one on August the 1st. And then we opened at Ellis Island and Casino Valley Verde a couple of days later. The Casino Fandango in Carson City, of course, great property.
Right.
It was one of the old Brandywine sports books going back to 2008. And we're now in there. A spot in North Las Vegas called Ojos Locos is also opening. We're in front of the Nye County Commission to hopefully get our final approval so we can open up in Tonopah at the old Mitzpah in the heart of Tonopah, well-known place, of course. The Bonanza, we're expecting to open there the middle of the month. I think we're going to have a soft opening around February the 13th or so, and then a grand opening event shortly thereafter. Real excited because that'll be our first entrance into the Reno area. So it's great that you downloaded the app. We appreciate it very much. Now we got to get you to physically go in person to sign up and fund your account, which you'll be able to do at the Bonanza in just a couple weeks. If you don't want to wait, of course, you can run down to the Fandango to bet the Super Bowl. But I couldn't be more excited to get in at the Bonanza with Ryan Sheltra, a family-owned property, been there over 50 years, and it's a real honor to do business with them.
Yes, absolutely. And we had a dining show for many years, and we worked with Ryan a lot on that program, so a good friend there. Now, you said non-restricted gaming license. Does that mean that you could buy a grocery store and open a casino in the middle of it?
It would depend where. You would have to get the local approvals, of course, but it also depends on what's required under local law, local ordinance. In Clark County, for instance, there's a requirement of 300 hotel rooms.
Okay, same in Reno.
Same in Washoe County, and it's a smaller number in Carson. There is no room requirement in Elko, so you can open in any place that ultimately the local officials and the Gaming Control Board and Gaming Commission believe is suitable.
You brought up William Hill's origins in England, and you and I, in a phone conversation prior to this, talked about my beginnings. When I was 18 years old, I worked for City Tote, that was a competitor for William Hill. They had 600 betting shops across the British Isles, and it was an incredible operation. And they were the ones that opened the first off-track betting in New York City back in the day. So we have roots there. But in reading about your history from CDC Gaming Reports, you had a very interesting upbringing. Your dad was a gambler, but a bit of a problem gambler. Would you share that with us?
Sure. So my earliest memories all involve gambling because, as you mentioned, my dad was a gambler, and he loved to go to the...
So was mine, by the way.
My dad loved to go to the racetrack. We'd go to Brandywine Raceway, which is where the Brandywine name came from, also to Delaware Park, which is a thoroughbred track, other racetracks in Delaware. He played cards. He'd go to Atlantic City as well and gamble in the casinos in Atlantic City. And he had a gambling problem. He was a compulsive gambler. He would gamble for a while, then he'd stop, go to Gamblers Anonymous meetings to try to stop it. He couldn't control it. And so it caused real and fundamental problems in his life. He lost his business because of gambling. He had a newsstand in downtown Wilmington, but went into debt and couldn't pay the bills. So I have seen very close up and personally the impact that gambling can have on certain people and their families as well. But for me, I just always enjoyed being in that environment. And a part of it is that was sort of the father-son time. It's maybe not the most orthodox approach, but I used to love going to the racetrack with my dad and trying to figure out who we should bet on. I was a little statistics geek and would cut out the box scores from the newspaper and then tell my dad who to bet on in baseball games. He was a big baseball fan. He never got over the Dodgers leaving Brooklyn. He was born in Brooklyn and moving to L.A. And so he would bet with his bookie on baseball. And so I just really enjoyed all of the father-son bonding around it. I enjoyed the challenge of trying to figure out who was going to win. I started working at the racetracks in Delaware when I was 16. A fellow named Marv Bachrod gave me my first job at Brandywine Raceway, working in the publicity department. I taught myself how to announce horse races, which I started doing as a teenager. My first race was at a place called Dover Downs.
What year would that have been?
I started working at Brandywine in 1984.
Okay.
And I called my first race at Dover Downs. Maybe it was early 84. It was 84 or 85. Had my first full-time announcing job when I was in 1985 at Harrington Raceway. Then I moved up outside of Boston to Foxborough Racetrack, which is where the Patriots still play. And I never really became a Patriots fan because I'm a lifelong Eagles fan, but I used to get to see the Patriots players walking around town. It was, very different back then. They didn't have the elaborate cafeterias in the training facilities, so they'd be at the local deli. And you could go and see your favorite Patriots player having sandwiches after practice. So that was sort of my upbringing, but it was all revolved around gambling.
We were recently watching The Sting, the Robert Redford, Paul Newman movie, and it was fascinating to watch the guy in the back room calling the race off the wire. And a lot of people don't realize that back in the day when I started, when I was a kid, that was the way it still operated. Was there was somebody reading a ticker tape sounding like they were actually at the racetrack, but in the 6 furlong races, you couldn't take a bet after they said they're off, because by the time they said they're off, the race was actually over. And there was a lot of ways that people could cheat if they were able to bet beyond that.
There are no shortage of ways that people try to get an edge, whether it's past posting like you talk about, or trying to somehow cheat in cards and all that sort of stuff. So the folks will always try to find a way. Of course, up until very recently, most of the sports betting in the country was done illegally. But I remember the very early days of casinos in Atlantic City. I learned at an early age how to count cards in blackjack. I read a book by a fellow named Ken Houston, who was a legendary card counter, taught myself how to count cards. My dad took me to a costume shop in Wilmington, bought me a fake mustache, and then we went down to Atlantic City, and he staked me in blackjack games at the old Tropicana. So, it's...
And you didn't get caught?
Did not get caught.
So you still have all your fingers?
I still have all my fingers, but I learned fairly early on, and in seeing from my dad, look, you don't build these beautiful casinos because all the customers win, right? And you have to view gambling as an entertainment expense, right? Some people might want to go to a Broadway show. Some people might want to go to the movies. Some people might want to bet on a ball game because they want to watch the ball game and they want to have an interest in the outcome. And so you have to view it from that prism. A very current issue in the industry revolves around things that are euphemistically called prediction markets.
Okay, let me hold you right there. Let's take a commercial break and we'll talk about why you're not happy about that. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with Joe Asher after this.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
Ring in the new year with newfound cash during the New Year Cash Extravaganza only at the Carson Valley Inn. Win up to $7,500 in giveaways every week. Then win big with $10,000 in cash and free play during the grand prize party January 31st. Start 2026 with a bang only at the Carson Valley Inn.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes hope means fearless trial attorneys who will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Joe Asher. He's the owner of Boomer's Sportsbook. It'll be in your town pretty darn soon if you live in the state of Nevada. Prediction markets. Okay, so people have heard of Kalshi, DraftKings. What is the difference between that and going into a sportsbook, and why do you think it's wrong?
Well, fundamentally, nothing is the answer. So prediction market is really a euphemistic term, okay? These are betting exchanges. They've been around in England for 25 years. Betfair is probably the most well-known, but they're gambling exchanges. They're a way for people to gamble. So they talk of buying a contract on a football game that's coming up shortly between the Seahawks and the Patriots. Okay, it's a bet. It's gambling. It's a bet. The argument is this is somehow permitted under the auspices of the Commodities Future Trading Commission, the CFTC. But it's not as though the technology is revolutionary in any stretch of the imagination, because it's been around for 25 years. What folks are trying to do is skirt the laws and infringe upon the rights of individual states to decide whether they should have gambling in their state or not. Nevada, we choose to have gambling. Not too far away in Utah, there's no gambling. But under these betting exchanges, prediction markets, they call them. I don't like to use that term because it's just a smokescreen. They're offering gambling, for instance, in Utah. And the thing that I particularly object to is that these are being spoken of as like a new investment class, right? Or new asset class. It's nonsense. It's gambling. Just call it what it is. It's gambling. I'm certainly not against gambling. I've made a very nice life for myself in gambling. I'm all for it. But we have to understand what it is. It has to be regulated, has to be very heavily regulated, in my opinion, because...
Just the way it is in Nevada.
Just the way it is in Nevada, because for a small percentage of the population, they're like my dad. They have real problems with gambling. And so when you call it an investment class, when you make it accessible from, I think I read that, I think it was Kalshi or Robinhood who was going to let you, take money out of your 401k to participate in these markets, to gamble right out of your 401k. That's not a good thing at all. And I've heard the CEO of Charles Schwab speak out against that, right?
Okay, so let me ask you this, because we're going to run short on time here. When we see these businesses come in to upend things, especially from a technology basis, for example, Uber and Lyft, when the taxi industry tried to fight them, they realized very quickly that these were multi-billion-dollar companies, and they had the money and the lawyers to be able to fight this, and in most cases win. Do you think that the prediction markets are going to end up winning because they have the power?
It's a great question, Sam, because they are certainly right now trying to make themselves too big to shut down. Okay, and then you have this scenario where the president's son, Donald Trump Jr., is an advisor to Kalshi. He's an advisory board member. I think it's a Polymarket, a direct competitor. Do any of us think that Donald Trump Jr. has some special expertise in betting markets or betting exchanges? Or is this a way to curry favor with the administration, right?
Gee, so let's pause and think about that. We'll be right back.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
The new year is bringing new ways to win big during the $175,000 Winter Wonderland giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 in cash every week and a top prize of $20,000 in cash during the grand finale drawing. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, We power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers with Joe Asher. I cut you off in mid-sentence there. We were talking about prediction markets. Finish your thought, please.
Well, you bring up the example of Uber and Lyft, which I think is a pretty good example, but here's the one big difference. These betting exchanges are directly competing with regulated and tax-paying sports books in all of these various states. It is obvious to me that over time, if these betting exchanges continue to operate, they don't pay a state gaming tax, right? So there's going to be a decrease in tax revenue to the states. So that's why you see all these states taking action against them.
All right. Well, I've got 100 more questions for you, so that just means please come back soon. And as you're traveling on the way to Elko, stop by in Reno and come and say hi.
Will do, and there's a good coffee shop in Battle Mountain that we're going to stop by too.
The Owl, maybe?
It is a good one.
Okay, very good. Joe Asher, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Check out our archives section on NevadaNewsmakers.com. Great interviews going back as far as 2002. Really worth watching. We'll see you on the next broadcast.